I can be ready.
And we're back, which is fun. It's fun for everyone. Except that my screen is locked up and I can't tell what's happening.
You are looking around confused?
That's what I was doing. I was looking around confused because I couldn't see what was happening. My screen had frozen.
And it's all better now?
It's all better now. I fixed it.
Yay.
So the last thing that had happened was there was an engagement roll that turned out poorly? Poorly?
Yeah.
Pretty poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to point fingers.
All right.
Blame Shane.
No, I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying, I've seen better rolls.
It was kind of a straight.
It was a straight. I mean, that's a good Yahtzee score.
True.
All right. So, you do definitely have a drug party with the Mickners and a few of their friends. You can all get invited to that because Kara's new boyfriend, turns them on to this cool new source of drugs. Right. So you can all be there. I am assuming that you're all going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So, one thing. When they've all into my drugs and doing the trans powder and everything like that.
Group question, real quick. Do you want me to sit up outside? Like, in case crap goes down violently? Like the cops show up or whatever? Or another gang decides to invade?
I think we're just as effective inside as outside.
Because I am a sniper. Which I've never actually gotten to use.
Then you're better at the top window.
So I can sit up, away from the rest of everyone else and just keep an eye out.
Because that's what every deception plan needs is a sniper.
Have you seen our plans?
No, I don't.
Chris, were you going to come in do I need to introduce you as a church official?
It's a good question.
Oh, actually, I forgot we're doing that part of it.
Are you doing that part of it? Yeah.
Well, my character has absolutely no lying ability, but if they're all in some kind of hypnotic trance anyway, maybe it won't matter.
I will tell them that you're the person the church goes to do the actual hollow procedure.
Yep, he's mute, so he can't.
He took an oath of silence.
So, Vaughn, are you outside or are you in? Just
I'll be inside as long as there is a high vantage point in the house that I can take.
Or I can introduce you as the designer of these particular drugs.
I don't know if it's a manor.
It's a manor. It's a 6 tower. They're in 6 Towers, which is the same neighborhood you guys are in.
Right.
And so it's, there's big manor houses along the streets. Most of them are abandoned. Many of them are abandoned. Theirs is a little rundown and ramshackle because they're spending the money not on upkeep.
Right.
So, there are definitely places outside where you could get a good vantage point.
Okay.
I just don't know if that's what you want to do.
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'll make sure I'm close enough that, it's easy to signal me or whatever, but.
Okay.
One thing I am doing while I'm kind of waiting, or before anything happens, I'm actually check to see if they have a library.
Yes, they have a library.
The party is in swing. I'm actually checking out the library.
Okay. Well, let me describe the party in swing, and then we'll go from there.
Also, do they have any water clocks?
That's an excellent question.
They do.
Thank you for asking.
They do have one, but it doesn't have any water in it.
We can fix that.
Jesus.
So, it's a typical rundown noble party in which there's a lot of drug use. Those are typical, I guess. I don't know.
Kind of how they do.
Yeah. So there's a lot of fainting couches around the room. A lot of people are fainting. Narcus is, of course, he is a composer, so he is showing off a little on the piano after he likes to get fucked up, play for people.
He's getting crunk.
That's
Crunk.
not the style, but yes. Kara is leaning on her new boyfriend. And then we've got Vestine, who is watching, from one of the fainting couches and, listening along with Narcus. And also Vestine is my new favorite name.
It's a good one.
Not one I'm familiar with.
Right. No, I saw it on the random list and I was like, oh my God, that's so good. I want to name my
It's a pretty good
child
one.
that. And then there's Hellas, who is their cousin. And he is also, of course, there watching. He's a little more... Well, of course, now I have the word in my head, so I will just use it. But he's a little snipey.
Yeah.
He likes to take pot shots at people when they're, they say something.
So he's a dick when he's high.
Yeah, kind of. So that's everybody. Edlund has been introduced as...
Okay, group decision. Which one am I going as? The actual drug maker, or do I need to go in as a priest so I can lobotomize one of them? I'm thinking Hellas right now. Because if he says something to me, it's probably not going to be voluntary anymore.
I was already thinking about having him lose some teeth. So,
Group decision? Because I just thought of another way we can
Okay.
go.
we already got the -1 dice for being daring and risky, so we might as well go for the lobotomy thing.
Well, here's the thing, though. That part was always weird. The other part we can go to is actually just bring one of them into this thing. It's like, this is much better as this. And
This
actually,
is much better when you can feel.
yeah, this is show them, we could get money off your friends and you can still hang around and do drugs.
And new kinds of drugs. I think that's going to be the real attraction.
Well, we would have to sway them from the church if we do that.
No, the churches of drugs. That's the great thing. We don't actually have to.
No, they're so what I mean is they're so into the church that they want to do the hollowed thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have to dial that back a little bit.
Well, we can show, the hollow thing isn't going to let you do this. We just need to get one of them. If
Yeah,
three of them
we would have to convince them that being hollowed would take away any sensation. And then we're good.
How about this? Okay. Introduce me as the priest. Well, a couple of ways we can, not the priest, but just as myself. But during the party, Timothy, talk to the older brother. Talk about, his music, how great it is. And then just kind of mention, my cousin was really into music, but then he got hollowed.
Or was a great musician or whatever.
God. I mean, he doesn't do anything now. He's just lost all of his. He just can't play anymore.
Yeah, he
So,
lost his muse.
So still going a long way, but we convince them that's not the way to go. But then show them this party and how they can maybe have more fun just by getting all their friends here doing drugs.
and be sure to work in the true meaning of Christmas in there too.
Right.
Yeah, and maybe give out drugs occasionally to children.
So, in answer to my question, Edlund is being introduced as Edlund,
I
a
think
drug
so, yeah.
supplier.
As the drug supplier.
Okay. So, Edlund, you are introduced as a drug supplier. They are all excited to try your new drugs. You have a fancy blue trance powder that you can pass around and everybody can enjoy and partake of.
One of them might change the color, so it's red powder.
Ooh,
I
it's,
don't
it's red. So,
He has it all on a lazy Susan. They can just kind of just
yep,
spin
just
it
spin
around.
it around. Yep, absolutely.
2 spider bags right here.
You gotta have good presentation skills, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Plating.
That's right, plating.
It's all in royal. It's all
Right.
in crown. It's all in crown royal bags.
when you discover, because the engagement roll was not great, you discover that someone, perhaps your deepest, darkest enemy, has tampered with your drugs. And everyone has a bad trip.
Nice.
Oh no!
That's funny.
So yeah, maybe that red coloring you put in the drugs, maybe that had something
No,
to
that
do
was
with it.
just fun.
What?
As people on the ground in some weird trances, well, I pull out my scalpel. Only chance now is just murder them.
I told you. I told you.
Oops. I suggest you start with the cousin.
So yeah, they are kind of. I mean, it's trance powder. It puts them in a hypnotic state, but it's not a pleasant hypnotic state. I will say, as a bad trip. So they're all, back on their couches or whatever in their positions, but
sleep
they are
paralysis
not
kind of
having a
thing.
good time. They are, eyes wide. They're sweating really hard.
I suggest
It
that you
looks
tell
like
them
every
this is
scene
what it
in
would be
Requiem
like.
for a Dream.
I suggest you tell them that this is what it would be like to be hollowed.
Okay.
Yes, somebody that talks well should do that.
As in,
It was-
hey, talker.
Yes, the church asked me to make sure that you want to go through with the hollowed thing, because this is what it will be like every moment.
Okay, so you're selling this as like a test
Yes.
from the church? Okay.
Yep.
Um,
Make sure that they can handle it.
yeah, no, I like that. Sure, you could turn this right around.
I mean, you can't even stop me from doing this. I break the cousin's finger.
So, Timothy, you can definitely make a sway roll to try to convince them of that. And there is the option, of course, that other people can help. Jim breaking someone's fingers could be that help. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to convince him how awful it will be.
I'm also going to push myself.
So,
So
I have command that does that to help.
Can't, if he assists, you don't need to push yourself.
No,
They don't.
I can't pick up multiple
stack.
dice. Okay.
I know those do, don't they?
Sounds
Okay.
risky.
So
dude,
if you
never
get
mind.
assistance, you can get a bonus die,
Yeah,
and
never
then
mind.
you can either push yourself or take a devil's bargain.
What would be the devil's bargain?
Well, hold on. Let me figure. Are you getting assistance? Is my first question.
Yes,
So you're going to. What are you doing to help exactly?
I'm breaking the cousin's finger.
Okay.
I'm making them realize how awful it will be to not be in control of their bodies.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll do anything someone asks, like this.
Right like this. You'll sit there through anything.
So that just reminds me of that movie, Mr. Wrong, where it's, do you think I don't love you enough to break my own finger?
Right.
Edlin is sitting on the stairs crying.
Somebody go comfort Edlin.
Okay. So you're going to get a bonus die from that, and then you can either push yourself or get a devil's bargain. What would be the devil's bargain here? You're trying to convince them. Kind of thinking the devil's bargain might be that Kara is like more into you than she should be. Maybe.
She's a little bit of a masochist.
Yeah, like maybe this is exactly what she wanted, and she didn't even know it until it happened.
Nice.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, so that'll be a bonus die, and then your difficulty is going to be. I think honestly, it's probably going to be controlled because they're all on drugs, and there's not a whole lot they can do to you, even if you fail. There's not a whole lot of risk associated with what you're saying. They just will ignore it, basically. So I would say probably controlled.
Because, a bad trip is still a trip.
And yeah, I mean, it takes you out. So
It's still an experience.
Mm-hmm.
no, it's not an experience.
No.
No,
I literally.
they are having an experience.
No, right.
Right.
Now, you've got the option, as it being controlled standard, you could increase your quality by making it
You could do risky.
risky. So then you would be at risky great instead of controlled standard.
I'll give that a shot. I've never done that
How
before.
many dice are you rolling?
4.
Yeah, that's good odds.
Plus the 2.
No,
that's with the plus
that's definitely with the 2.
So yeah,
Dice is the most we ever rolled.
in that case, it will be risky
Great.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And there's the 6.
Yeah,
So
Hooray!
That makes it a what?
that makes it
That means it's a success with no consequences.
right. Success with no
Nice.
consequences, which means that you totally did it. You convinced them that this is what it's going to be like all the time when they're hollowed, and that this was a test, essentially. How do you want to put that?
Mhm.
We just wanted you to know what you were getting into.
Right. The church does not allow anybody to become hallowed without, full knowledge of what they're to be in for.
This will be your existence. Then make the older brother, play the piano.
Okay, he is having the worst time. Narcus, you have probably convinced him. I mean, just straight out, like he is like, yeah, no, this is a dumb idea. We shouldn't join the church. Whose idea was this? We shouldn't be hollows at all. Kara, who is now really into Timothy for some reason, is just like, yes, my liege.
Oh, he's into that kind of thing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. She didn't know she was into it, but now
She does now.
right. It's become a 50 Shades.
She's addicted to trans powder.
It's
I'm totally into pleasure. Damn it, it should have been me. Oh well.
You're not a talker.
I know what to do with someone like her.
Vestine seems to be
Yeah. Hey, come break your cousin's finger. You'll really get off on it.
right.
He's a dick anyway. It's fine.
Vestine seems to be upset, obviously. She doesn't like how this is going. She's, of course, convinced that going hollow is probably not a good idea, but she also thinks that
Drugs are bad.
no, she doesn't think drugs are bad.
Oh, never that.
She thinks-
God, no, never that.
She thinks that the church is really fucked up because they sent you to test them. And, of course, Hellas is writhing on the ground because someone broke his finger.
I mean, and not a clean break, Mark. Like, I smashed it.
Okay, so he's not having a good time.
So, I just kind of mope over there and fix his finger.
Sucks.
Well, he does not want to be approached by you because you gave him the terrible drugs.
You have a finger. Let me fix it.
Fix it like you. Oh, he vomits.
I look at it.
At his vomit?
Yes, I just stare at him. Vomit, that's the easiest of the
Bile.
the vials to deal with.
The humors.
The humors. There you go.
Okay.
I basically, as he vomits, I just kind of push him down
Okay.
and then, splinter up his finger.
Okay. Do you want to make a roll for that? To see if you're actually
Sure.
successful or not?
I'm looking for my desperation roll.
Okay, so again, it's probably going to be controlled standard because they are on drugs. They're not going to be able to do much back to you. You don't have access to your infirmary,
No, but I do. I'm still physical.
but you're still a physiker, so obviously you've got that.
Again, it's not a clean break though. I smashed that crap.
No, he still rolled a 5, so.
Okay. So you're able to, I don't know, set it. If that really is what happens when you get a finger smashed, I don't know. And he seems to be, initially he, panics when you approach him and he's like, no, keep away. But then once you forcefully grab his arm and get him down, he starts cooperating.
He thought you were going to lobotomize him.
Still on the table.
And through his drug stupor, he is, glaring daggers at Hamish.
Makes sense.
I lean close to him. Everyone sleeps. Remember that. You get them when they're drowsily walking to the loo. You sneak up behind, knife blade into the kidney.
Now you have a mentee.
He seems to be listening, but he's, pretty high, so it's hard to
He
tell.
can't really comprehend well right now.
It's hard to tell, but he is definitely.
As I help him get back into one of the couches,
You would like to sign
I don't
for your
know.
newsletter.
I mobilely walk to the library. I Charlie Brown walk to the library.
Because you didn't get to kill anyone?
No, it's sad.
I'm going to go apologize to Vestine because she seems to be kind of upset.
Yeah, she is upset. I don't know what kind of church we've gotten involved in if they would take their most loyal parishioners and do this thing to them. What kind of a religion?
The whole concept of Hallowed is a life-altering experience. Do you just want to walk into it blindly? You have to know what it's like before you make a permanent decision.
But we're
There's nothing
also
like seeing it.
we're also devout.
You are devout. That's why they ask us to come. They don't do this for all the parishioners, just the ones that show the most promise.
But now we have failed their test, and we will never become hollow.
But would you have been truly happy if you were Hallowed?
Of course, I would be happy.
No.
I would be free of this damnable soul that makes me so corruptible.
There are other ways to get rid of your soul. You can burn it out with drugs.
Listen, we don't drill holes in people's heads and coax people's soul or
The
burn
demons
people's
out?
souls out anymore. We drug them
all right,
into
Edlin.
sticking and coax.
I need you to make a new drug called the Soul Burner.
No, it's fine. Just lay her down. I've got my copper pole. Just got to push it between her eye. It's fine. I'll just get it right in there and just tap it with a hammer.
Ding,
Now,
ding,
you gotta drive it right through there.
She's got a great name. Let's not the bottom of it.
No, it's fine. She'll still have the name. You can go. What, Vestine? Vestine, darling. Don't poo yourself anymore.
That's terrible.
It's so charming.
Vestine, dear. Now, you don't do that in the hallway.
Yes, if Vestine still wants to become Hallowed, I'll tell her that the church is okay with it. However, this is what it's like.
Okay, well, you guys are still trying to convince them to run a drug den out of their home too, so
Well, this part should be relatively
Oh, well, that's
simple by
easy now.
comparison, because
One of them follows him. It'll be easy.
drugs are great.
are they? But they just had a bad trip. I don't.
But we'll get him back to the good stuff.
So yeah.
Never take the red. Only the blue.
They just need one good hit and they'll be back. It's fine.
So you do understand. I'm gonna have to kill all the guards you hired.
No, you're not.
Are there guards?
Yes.
No, you're not.
Yes.
No, you're not.
I'm not
Okay.
even-
Then
I'm not
which
even
one?
there.
Which one did you turn my drugs? Because I'll have to kill you instead. Then.
You made the drugs
Perhaps-
back at the place, so.
Yes.
Oh,
my
you meant the
drugs-
guards that he hired. Gotcha.
Yes. The ones that are in our headquarters.
You do have an alchemist like arch enemy, don't you?
Yes.
She might have sold you some bad supplies.
Again, I'm
I
not
don't
there.
get my supplies from her. But I am
might-
I'm
might have-
going through the book. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm just going through the books, trying to find some good ones. Some good ones on anatomy.
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 Okay, make a fortune roll.
Oh, that would be this. Do I get any bonuses or anything?
So it would actually be 3 dice because their tier is 3, except I'm going to say that they've sold a lot of the good stuff, the books that they can get money for drugs. So that's actually probably tier 2 at this point.
But I got a question. They might have sold the drugs, but that means they're going to the ones that have nice covers and bindings.
Right. That's why there's still the chance that there's something here.
I see. Okay.
It may not have been, the actual books that you want that were worth the money. So it'll be tier 2. So 2 dice.
Also, their water clock is where they're stashing their drugs.
Well, I need it.
It's their
so-
hookah. It's their hookah water clock.
Oh,
And once I'm leaving,
man.
if I do find the water clock, I will grab it for him.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Oh,
2.
boo.
No, there are no anatomy books. Anatomy books. Timothy, you are still trying to convince them to work for you, or are you going to come back at this later when you can offer them something that won't fuck them up and fuck them up in a bad way as opposed to a good way?
Yeah, I'll come back to that later. Right now, I'm just trying to maintain control.
Okay.
Keep this thing from sliding off the rails.
Sure. So that'll be another sway roll, I'm thinking, since you're talking to Vestine
Okay.
in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody going to help?
Well, I'm going to shoot one of them through the window.
How will that help?
Distraction.
I am too low right now.
It will show them the folly of not
Right.
listening to Timothy.
Speaking of which,
I don't think Timothy wants my kind of help for this one.
Hamish, did you spend a stress to give him an extra die?
I didn't know I needed to do
Yeah.
that.
It's
Okay.
you have to spend a stress in
Good,
order to give
that's
someone an extra
assisting.
die. It's
Okay,
2
I got
dice if you want to help yourself.
I got it.
Okay.
Checked.
2 stress, yeah.
Yeah, but only 1 if you're helping someone else. So no one else is helping. So it'll just
3
be.
out of 5.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's talking to them or whatever. I'm just gonna look and see if there's anything valuable I can put in my pockets and walk away with.
That would be a prowl roll to see if you can get away with that.
Oh, I'm not trying to hide it if I find something. I'm just trying to find something valuable.
You know, we could
That sounds like a
organize
survey.
we could
Yeah.
organize drug events here, and being as we know who's invited, we know that their houses won't be occupied.
I was actually
Oh,
thinking,
that's a-
though.
Better idea. I'll leave their stuff alone.
I was actually thinking about this.
That is a great
myself.
idea.
That Mark mentioned there's a bunch of abandoned houses along this road anyway. That could also just completely work ourselves. We
Yeah.
can just, randomly take them over.
Would that count as turf?
But I think that'd be drugged in, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
That's the thing.
yeah,
You just move our drugged in.
yeah. If you're
Okay.
setting up a drugged in, it would be a drugged in itself. Turf is more that you've got territory, that you are
Okay.
making money from. That you've got corners, essentially.
Mhm.
But
Well, the drug den,
Um,
we'd probably still want somebody who runs it. So, yes, work on converting your bitch.
I also like the idea of hosting parties, having them host parties for other nobles, and then robbing those nobles. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
I do like the older brother and sister. She can run him while he plays music. Good for drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So, Hamish, is that right?
Yeah.
Don't break his fingers.
Who's?
The older
He's-
brothers.
He's got to play the holophone.
No, the older brother's fine. It's the cousin.
No, I'm just saying in the future.
Oh, okay.
Avoid breaking his fingers.
He can lose some teeth if necessary.
Oh, that's fine. Obviously.
Okay.
He's not singing, right?
But my lovely singing voice. No.
Well, if he's singing. No, but you know, he doesn't need to be able to stand.
What's his name? What's his name?
Narcus?
Narcus, go pick yourself out a nice orange.
Right.
You're going to have to be one of those delicate handles.
Don't want to leave obvious bruising. Yeah.
Right, right.
It's okay. You're still pretty.
So sometime, you know, as I'm moping around, I'll grab the water clock, open up the window on the first floor towards where I know where he's standing, and set the water clock on the edge and close the window.
I'll step-
Okay.
I'll
So he
step
knows
up-
where it is.
And I'll step on up to retrieve it.
Right.
Who left you out on the windowsill?
So you know I support your little things.
Yep.
So you will gather bodies for me.
I've made several bodies for you.
So I want to tell you, I was getting kind of disturbed. I was looking up some pictures of 19th century medical stuff.
Why?
Yeah, that's
frightening.
disturbing.
Yeah.
The one showing
Yeah.
how to amputate a foot.
Yeah, that's just horrific.
Yeah, medicine's come a long way, thank God.
Or the one peeling off the face and then taking the jaw off.
Good times.
Nope. That is just chock full of nope.
Yup.
How about there, Scott?
I will point out, I was almost to the point of rage of starting a fire in the library. But I avoided it for the gang. I want you all to give me props for not burning the place down.
It
How
wasn't
about
your-
pull out
it-
the
it-
good drugs now?
It wasn't you remembering what happened last time you started a fire?
No, I'm fine this time.
Okay.
I'm not doing it in broad daylight.
I mean, daylight is a relative term, but yeah.
Okay, good day. Broad in the middle of the street during a work day.
Right.
During a
Right.
work shift?
Is it bad?
Yeah.
Hour? What do they call it?
They
Work
still
day?
call. I mean, they still call it day and night. There is a difference in the light, but it's still dark
Oh.
during the day.
This
Oh.
went really well. We recovered well. Let us
It's like-
wrap this up.
It's like Alaska, you know. In
Let's
those
wrap this up
in the
before
6
one of us can fuck this up.
in the
That
6
is a good
months where
point.
it's kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During
So
the
I was
day, you only need 2 torches.
Because we will fuck this up.
right.
Right. Let's
So
wrap this
far,
up
none of
before
us
we
have got hit or massive amount of stress. I am good. I mean, obviously,
So
I'm disappointed in my drugs.
So, Timothy, you were talking with Vestine a little bit there, trying to convince her. And she actually seems, I mean, obviously it's a little difficult to tell because she is on drugs, but, you know, as they fade a little bit, she seems to be going along with what you're saying. Like you can see the wheels in her mind turning as well as they can turn at this point.
Yeah.
Keep on tuning.
She seems to be, yeah, she seems to be getting the gist of what you're going with. She seems a little shrewder than some of the others.
Okay.
However, she's going to need some convincing to really go along with this because A, the supply that you gave her at this point was bad. So she doesn't know that she wants to host anything further from you in particular.
Vestine?
Yes.
Okay.
She better not say that to me.
Actually, I will invite her to.
Is this the one in love with you, Danny?
No,
No, this is the
this is the
little
younger sister.
Chris, have you got someplace that you could like set up a sample type thing?
Get her
We
the
have
party
all
sampler.
of these
Get her the
kids'
party
houses.
sampler.
I mean, we could. Okay, yeah, let's do that. We'll set up
Unfortunately-
in a mansion somewhere.
We have a lair and the infirmary, and we've already determined that infirmary's in the lair, so
We did.
she's not coming into our secret lair.
Yeah, I totally understand. Can you make one of the mansions look like that's where you make your drugs?
You mean our secret lair that's going to be on the front page of the next newspaper?
Yeah, that one.
You could set up another house. I mean, that would be a flashback or something to set up something, another house to look like stuff.
This is where the drugs are made. And these are our wide assortments.
Yeah, flashback. How do we do that?
You just say
These
you're
are
doing a
the drugs
flashback
that
and you
don't
say what you want to do with
simulate,
it.
hollows.
And then Mark tells you how much stress that costs.
So yeah, if you don't mind, I am not going to do that because I'm at 8 stress right now.
I'll do it, but I just did the heavy lifting of getting all the fake equipment in the house.
Yeah, you
So-
just got to scatter some cocaine around, leave some drug paraphernalia in places, get some big fancy boiling things.
Yeah,
Yep.
get a couple beakers.
You could borrow the Jacob's ladder from the infirmary, take it into the. I mean, they don't know. They don't know.
I just took it from the physiker who set me up.
So that would actually be. I would probably, in order to make it convincing, I'd probably think 2 stress.
Okay.
Make it look like a in-use drug lab.
Sure. Done.
And done.
Okay. You want to show her that? Is
Yeah,
that-
this whole thing was just set up so that they could see what it was like to be hollowed. Let me show you what we can provide.
Okay.
Now that you've made the right choice.
Right. We have a wide assortment of designer
Paraphernalia.
that.
So
That hasn't been poisoned.
let's do another sway roll, I think, then probably for that to actually convince her. Because you started along the way, you got a success, so you definitely convinced her to go along with you. But I'm thinking the consequence of that last roll was probably that she's a bit suspicious and she wants to, see a drug lab, for instance.
Devil's bargain.
Kara gets really, really jealous of the time you're spending with her sister.
Sweet.
I invite
doesn't
Kara to go along with
That's
it.
not going to go horribly.
Regardless, that would be the devil's bargain.
Okay.
You're paying too much attention to her sister.
You can always choose not to take it, but
Or you can just, get someone to assist you.
you could do that too.
Or push yourself.
I'm going to push myself.
Okay. That will be 2 stress. And then we'll give you a bonus die. And there's no help from anyone else?
I'm still not even involved in the story.
No, you're
Eight
outside.
stress.
You're outside with your sniper rifle. I get it.
The kind of help I could give is fair.
Wow. Okay, so do I get anything for having a straight?
You don't get anything for having
I
a
think we
straight.
discussed before that it just looks pretty.
Right. So, where does that put you?
She's suspicious and she does not want to go with me out into the dark, empty, abandoned mansion. Which I would say is incredibly sensible for a drug addict.
That makes sense. Yeah, she is not going to go with you.
Are you sure you're a drug addict? No.
Right. She's not convinced of this whole church thing. This seems really weird of the church to try to poison them, which is what kind of happened.
We succeeded on that roll.
No, right. Right. I mean, she is
Yeah.
convinced, but it's still like this seems
Gotcha.
like a weird turn that they would
Sure.
make. Yeah, so she is not going to want to leave. Now, you can try to seize the opportunity and push her, or you can just try a different approach.
Hmm.
And that would bump your roll up to risky, basically, if you tried to push her.
I'll give it a shot.
I'll
I'm reckless.
Yes.
I will assist this time and loom behind Timothy,
Okay.
suggesting really strongly.
Okay. No, that's fair.
One stress.
So that'll give you a bonus die there, Timothy. Jim, spend 1 stress for that.
Got it.
And what was it? Oh, it's risky standard. And if you want, you could push it to desperate. Great.
I'm gonna go with desperate great.
Okay.
Oh, good Lord.
So go ahead and mark XP for making a desperate roll.
This is going to be awesome.
Succeeded.
I succeeded.
Okay.
Thank God.
That's great effect. So that's good.
All right. So you definitely succeeded, but because it was desperate, there is a major consequence.
But also the effect is great.
Yes, which means that she is on board. They will go through with your plan of being a drug den for them. However,
Okay.
the consequence that comes out of that is going to be that she wants to make sure that all the money goes to the church as a tithe.
Here's the thing. If you read Drug Den, we actually don't always get a lot of money from it.
Right.
That's true.
But what I'm saying
So-
is, if you get money from it, you would not actually get it. It would go to the church. Because,
I say we don't do that because we have to buy the material for it. So how we can word it is everything but the material, and then the extra is what the money is.
All the profits.
okay, well, the profits would be any of the coin you made from the drug den, though, is what I'm saying. Like, that's why there's a variable number there, because, yes, you're obviously having to supply them. Sometimes it works out in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, that's what I'm saying is it would be you would have to convince them not for it to be a tithe if you actually wanted to make money from the drug den.
I think I can arrange it so that Kara is the one responsible for taking the money to the church.
Mm-hmm. And then that she is on the sly gonna feed it to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Is that what you're thinking?
I hope.
Okay.
I hope.
Well,
I don't know.
Either that or I will convince her to keep it for herself and then spend it on us.
okay.
I like it.
So let's, I guess, another sway roll then to convince her to do that.
Does he get a bonus die for her being madly in love with him? I don't know about madly in love, but very interested.
No, but I would say it's going to start at great effect.
Okay.
Because she is madly in love with him. And it's actually going to be desperate again because it was a desperate roll originally, and it's an extreme consequence. So you're looking at desperate great.
All right. Definitely help as much as possible.
Okay,
I wish I was in there now.
I'm gonna keep her sister away from her,
Okay.
Yeah, keep them isolated
thereby
so that they can't
thereby
interfere.
helping,
Right.
and just sort of like suggest, are you really negotiating with drug dealers I'm just gonna to imply some threats to her.
Okay. That's fair. Spend the stress there, Hamish.
Like, back her up against the wall where the drug vials are and be like,
No, don't be too
That's really
obvious. Don't be
ballsy.
too obvious.
The church has got expenses too,
hey,
I got a 5.
Okay. That's enough to convince her. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. There's still a extreme consequence coming from that, though, because it's a desperate roll and you didn't succeed. I mean, you succeeded.
See, this is the weird part of the game. It just snowballs forever.
Well, yeah, it does.
As we're leaving the drug lab, we throw open the door and there's the Newsies.
And they snap all the pictures. They take really quick sketches.
So I've got an idea for a serious complication, but it wouldn't actually trigger until they'd actually make a payment to you. So let me make sure to write this down so I don't forget.
I'm a spy, not a drug dealer.
You are now. I'm a psychotic killer, not a
And a drug dealer.
and a drug dealer. Just because my character is based on Victor Frankenstein and Walter White.
Okay. So, yes, Timothy, you're able to convince her that, yeah, the church has expenses. We need that money, to come directly to us, and then we can funnel what we make from it back into the church. And yeah, no, totally. We're totally doing what you want, but not really. Yeah.
Not really at all, but you don't need to know that.
Right. So, I think that's successful.
Honestly, if the money does go to the church, it's not a problem. We'll just carry on with plan B, which is to rob all the different nobles that come to the party.
Right.
Right. I mean,
we could just give the money to the church just to ensure it does not arouse suspicion.
Either way, I feel like this has been successful.
Yeah.
Because even if it does go to the church, we can just be like, "Hey, look what we got you."
Mm-hmm. Not
Now
only
you owe us.
do we
Right.
convince them not to hollow, but now they're funneling you even more money. Yeah.
Right.
That seems right to me. Okay, so you actually did complete this job
No one got shot. It's crazy.
We're not all beat up to shit and back.
See, you just needed some muscle.
Yep.
You need just someone to lean on people, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, so the payoff for this particular job is you're going to earn 2 rep per score. And if the target is a higher tier, you take +1 rep per tier higher, and they were 1 tier higher than you guys.
So +1 rep.
So you'll get 3 rep.
Was that the final
Final what?
of all the things you get rep for?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Okay. 3 rep.
So, and I totally forgot how much money I actually said this job was worth in the first place. Let me see if I wrote it down. Nope. Why would I write important things like that down?
That's silly.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that was probably a small job, which would be 4 coin.
Yeah, I can see that.
Getting this cash cow back.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Do we have vaults?
Yeah. Everyone has the first level of vault.
Nice. Okay.
Or do they?
You don't actually have the
Do
first level of
they?
vault. You just have the basic vault.
Why don't we just, each take one?
That's fine.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Let's just do
Okay.
that.
However you want to
We can-
divide up the money.
Are you saying we get coins?
Yeah, each of us get a coin.
Nice.
And then the crew gets, the Greyvilles gets a coin.
Well, no, there's 4 of you.
No, there's 4 coin and there's 4 of us.
Oh, I
this time.
forgot.
Right,
I
there's an
forgot
extra
Tim.
person. Yeah.
I forgot Piker.
The mission was successful because I leaned on people.
I numbers. I'm not good with those.
Also, it was my idea to turn around your terrible flop with the drugs.
I go murder a newsie.
So now we've got heat. You take +1 heat for high profile or well connected target. I don't think they are.
I don't think they're either. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're nobles, but they're not high profile and they're not well connected. So
Yeah, they're kind of like on the downslide.
yeah.
So
+1 heat if the situation happened on hostile turf.
would you consider this hostile turf?
You know, I'm not necessarily sure I would consider it hostile.
This is 6 towers, right?
Like they invited
This
us
is
in.
our
really.
home
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah, it's your home area and they weren't hostile. So
Right.
+1 heat if you're at war, you're not. And +2 heat if killing was involved, there wasn't. So you'll actually just take 2 heats because it was contained standard exposure, or do you think it was smooth and quiet with low exposure? I could actually see that
I
one.
feel like it
I
was
don't, I don't think
smooth
that
and
I don't
quiet.
think that word would actually have gotten out about this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's actually probably so 0 heat.
Nice.
Yay!
crazy.
That's the first time you've done that.
Yeah. it is.
I'm amazing. Who knew that you needed a thug to make things quiet?
You taught us how to wrap the cloth around the blackjack so it doesn't make as much noise when it's striking your head.
Right. Like I said, it's really easy to lobotomize someone. You just need a blackjack.
Okay. And then you guys were also trying to get a drug den out of this deal, which I think you did. So
Okay.
Ace.
you can take that turf too.
Sweet.
That will be good money.
It actually won't be right now because your heat is way too high, but
Yeah, our heat's terrible right now, so we need to get it down first.
We need to get that down.
Well, we actually have another downtime now, so we can
it's true.
actually
Fortunately,
work on that.
mine are going to be spent on healing and getting my stress down.
I'm actually done healing finally, so
But actually, let's do into session stuff because we are like at 3 hours.
okay.
So,
Okay.
we'll end it there, and then we'll do downtime next time, and then your next job, whatever that is. I'm honestly not even sure.
I don't know. I'm kind of like that hagfish farm.
See,
That's what I've wanted since the
See.
beginning.
see, Shane, you'll eventually convince people.
I've always agreed with it.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so experience at the end. Let's see here. How about Vond? Let's do Vond.
All right. I didn't mark any desperate actions this time. If I addressed a challenge with tracking or violence, there was no violence, but I did address a challenge with tracking. Trauma. Okay, beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I did sort of do my background because I, enlisted the spy to help us set up the engagement role. Struggle with issues with my vice or my trauma. I did actually take my trauma into account this time.
And
I
what is your
remembered it.
what is your trauma?
Vicious.
Oh, yeah,
So that's why I was like, yeah, let's just kill them
yeah. No, that's true.
or torture them. That seems like a way better plan than this complex crap.
So was
They
that
ignored me, but
no right? So was that 3 XP?
so that's 3, and I didn't struggle with my vice other than I got down from my sniper's nest to go get the water clock.
Yeah, that's not necessarily
So 3.
struggling.
Nope, 3 for me.
All
That was
right,
a free water clock.
cool. Let's do Hamish next.
All right. I repeatedly addressed challenge with violence or coercion.
I would say, yeah, with coercion. Do you think that's
Coercion
worth
generally,
1 or 2?
I think 2 because I threatened the 2 girls and I broke the cousin's finger.
Okay.
I would say I expressed my background going down to the docks and finding, Union connections to make contacts with the silver.
The silver
Pikes.
nails. Okay.
Silver nails, yep.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And I did not get a chance to struggle with my vice, but I totally have decided that my pleasure thing is I'm into all kinds of sexual kink.
Okay.
So, like, if she wants to learn how to hurt or be hurt, I will set that up for her.
Okay.
So what's going to happen is Timothy's going to be like, so she likes this kind of thing? Is there anything you can...
Oh, yeah, right. This rope with weights, that's got a double use. I both like to be tied up and tie up.
So that sounds like you said 3 XP, right?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Okay. And you can put that in playbook, or you can put it in your attributes, wherever you want to put it. Whichever one will fill up a bar. Generally, is what you want to do. I don't know where you're at with your.
No.
Your prowess. You could actually bump up your prowess if you move to that 3 to that.
Can I move one of my skills to 3 yet?
So if you fill up prowess, you can take a skill to 3. Yes.
You just can't take it to 4.
You just can't take it to 4.
I'm actually going to wait. I'm going to
Until
put
the
it in
game
my
gets
playbook
mastery.
because there's a playbook thing I really want.
Okay. Fair enough. Timothy,
Yes.
it is you.
Okay. Let's see. Have I just addressed the challenge with deception or influence? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It was a Timothy show today.
Yeah.
So is that worth 1 or 2? Do you think? Because it can either be 2 XP if it occurred multiple times, or if it was a big deal.
I would say it occurred multiple times, and it was kind of a big deal, but
I could say 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say 2.
okay. Have you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, and background? Pretty much, I think so. That's going to be any sort of seduction role, outside of just general manipulation.
Because of your
The
My belief
dagger isle
is
thing.
your
woman
dagger isle
loving.
charm.
Yeah.
See, I should have chosen a belief like that.
Have you struggled with issues regarding your vice or trauma? Yeah, I picked reckless this time, and I would not have gone with this plan if I had not taken reckless.
Okay. So that sounds like 4, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Change my belief to perforating people's heads.
Let's see. Let's put 2 there, and
And you marked your desperate actions too, because you actually made 2
Yes,
of
I
them.
did.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. Edlund.
Okay. Address a challenge with technical skills or mayhem. Drugs. The greatest technical skill.
Yeah, okay.
So 1, I don't think anything more.
Okay.
Express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. The book thing, the academic thing, that I was trying to focus doing on that too. But once again, I think just 1. I don't think it came up a lot more.
Okay.
And struggle with issues of vice or traumas. Oh, I do that constantly. But still, all kind of the same thing. So I'm just going to say 1.
You did do the unstable quite a bit, I would say. I don't necessarily think you struggled with your vice.
No, but traumas.
No, right. But the only struggle you had with your vice was that you rolled poorly when you indulged it. So that's not really a struggle.
Gotta say, getting that trauma was the greatest thing ever.
I told you, people, you want traumas.
Why?
Because they're
Oh, 'cause you
XP
get
triggers.
experience?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, I just got here, so.
Well, right. So, but what you do, Hamish, in order to get one, is don't go indulge your vice. Just stress yourself out.
Just push yourself a lot.
Yeah,
and
just
don't
push yourself a
indulge
lot
your
and
vice.
just stress yourself out.
But I get experience for struggling with my vice as well.
You do.
That's on the same
You do.
same level.
Not for, you don't get points for indulging your vice though. You get points for struggling with your vice.
Right.
So
Right.
Okay. So like resisting it?
Yeah,
Or,
if you
yeah,
if you
but
needed
stop
to
it.
if you needed to resist it for some reason, yes, that would be
or
a struggle.
indulging it in a like situation where it's not a good idea.
Right.
Or,
Right.
yeah, something.
Yeah, I've just decided, you know what? My partner's into shoes. I'll put on shoes. You want to role play? I'll put on role play. Kink, I'm down. Orgies, whatever.
I would like to
It's
point
all
out
about
though
the pleasure.
that when this occurs, when you hit your trauma, you are out.
Yeah.
From that point until the adventure's over, you're out.
Well, until it makes sense. Usually it's when the adventure's over, but yeah. Okay, so we got the
That's
gang.
the experience. Yes.
Yeah, we got the gang to do. So, execute a successful espionage, sabotage, or theft operation.
Not really.
That's not. I guess it wasn't espionage, right? We did deception.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, it was a deception
consider this
plan.
operation?
But right, what do you consider it? Do you consider it espionage, sabotage, or theft?
Not
It's kind
really.
of espionage because we're kind of trying to double cross the church a little here.
I mean, yeah, we did their job and then took their people out from under them almost. But
I could see the double cross as being like either espionage or sabotage, but
I was thinking of it more as sabotage. But yeah,
I could see a double cross happening there if you
They're
guys
still
consider
going
it.
to
Then,
church, right?
yeah. I mean,
Well,
so-
right. The beauty of it is that the church doesn't know that we double cross.
right.
right,
Took
That's
advantage of the
successful
situation.
espionage.
Mm-hmm.
right.
So I'm good with that.
Okay.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Contend with challenges above your current station.
Yes.
They
All
were
challenges
above
are
your
our
station.
station.
Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one.
We're now drug dealers.
I don't know that we did that because only that little group knows. I mean, I guess we did among her friends.
Yeah, but they're
His
going to tell her
friends.
friends.
But not enough because we didn't get any heat from it. So
Right, we kept it quiet. So
And I was
That's-
disguised.
That's true, and that's usually my trigger about whether your reputation actually matters to people is whether you got heat or not. So
I don't think
Now-
we did in this case.
yeah.
your other option would be you could develop a new reputation among this crew, among these nobles, but
The church's drug dealers.
yeah, I don't know.
Or the church's henchmen.
Right.
So the last one is express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
Inner conflict. I think it's coming down more and more. The problem with this crew as we're all trying to take it different directions.
We are.
There
Every
is
time we take a
chaotic
different.
factor.
Okay. I didn't have a problem with any one of these things.
Me
Yes.
and Chris, myself and Edlund and Timothy have had different visions of how we should accomplish several things.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that sounds like 3, right? 'Cause you-
Which actually bumps us up.
Yeah, 3 would do it.
Yep, it will give you the crew advance.
Yeah, but
Nice.
Hooray!
So, you can either choose a new special ability or you can take 2 upgrades.
Isn't it time we finally get minions?
Well, I was about to say,
Yeah. We could just get a cohort.
you could
We
just
were
add those silver nails as an actual cohort that you have,
I would like that.
or you
Okay.
could.
Elite rooks? What are
I'm-
those?
I'm thinking
Okay,
we need
so
to invest in our lair.
Those are crew upgrades, so we have to buy the cohort first, and then we can upgrade them.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to get the second level of secure because our location is known now.
Well, that means we might, need to move it.
That is a good point, Timothy. I would say that honestly, there's 2 ways to approach that. You can make the layer more secure, or you can actually get a gang that would help protect it.
Like, yeah, you can come get us. We're right here. Yeah, either way, I'm fine with getting a cohort because we haven't had any minions yet. But secure is good. The second level of secure just makes it so we have defenses against ghosts.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Really?
That's
Okay.
true. Yeah.
That's what it does.
I do want to
Never
point
mind.
out, I am going to start messing with ghosts as soon as I get 1 rank in a tune. So it's a thing people are going to look at. You're going to be having ghost bangers. Because that's actually one of the things I can do that I might buy later as an upgrade is ghost wards. Or artifactor. Let's be quick. Or spark. Or ghost wards, actually, probably the main example of that.
So how would we buy them?
So okay, if you the little cohort thing says a cohort costs 2, So that would cost both of your upgrades if you choose to take a cohort.
Right.
But once you do that, and I'm actually trying. Isn't there a place to write?
Isn't it up at the top?
Yeah, there it is.
Chief
Okay.
also looks pretty good.
Yeah, it is up there in the corner. So the first thing you got to do is you actually got to choose a type of cohort that you want.
What kinds are there?
There are adepts, rooks, rovers, skulks, and thugs.
Well, Rooks and Skulks seem like they are sort of our gang's thing.
Rooks are con artists, spies, and socialites. Skulks are like
people.
scouts, infiltrators, and thieves.
Also kind of my people.
Yeah, also kind of your people. And then if you went with the Silver Nails option, they would probably be thugs because they're killers, brawlers, or roustabouts. But you don't necessarily have to recruit the Silver
You
Nails.
people
could.
don't even know until I started playing again the power of thugs. Thuggery is success.
Except that we can't make them elite. If we got one of the other ones, we can just pop them up elite.
Jim, we pretty much appreciate thugs. Every one of us has a glass jaw.
That's what I'm saying.
Fawn's tough. Fawn's tough.
So, was there a consensus?
You don't even know. No.
I'm fine with thugs for now.
I'm just saying we can't upgrade them, which is makes me sad.
Can I?
Okay. You sort of can. Because you can add an additional type to them.
Mm-hmm.
So you could actually turn them into one of the ones that you can make elite. Now it costs a lot more, obviously, because you have to add an additional type. But
So they could be thugs and rooks.
yeah, you could make them thugs and rooks, but that would actually cost you, I think, 4.
4.
Yeah, 4 upgrades to do that, and then
That's a lot.
putting elite on top of that.
Right.
You know,
Mm.
But you can only get one at
Here-
a time anyway, so
now-
can't we just build on them?
Here's the thing.
You can have
We
several
get-
cohorts.
Wait. Listen. We get the silver nails one time free anyway
Mhm.
because we haven't used that yet.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So we could just recruit something else.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we still have the use of the silver nails
Right.
one time.
That's true.
So
I'd like
So in that case,
Read
I
off-
say rooks or
read
skulks.
off Rooks and
probably.
Skulks again.
Rooks are con artists, spies, and socialites, and skulks are scouts, infiltrators, and thieves.
Our new drug partners would be socialites.
They are. That's true.
I would probably say that, yeah, if you took rooks, they would probably come from their ilk. Skulks would probably be from the streets, but whichever one.
If we get Skulks, we could just have them, kill all the newsboys. No. I'm fine with Rooks.
Let's get rooks.
Rooks? All right. So if someone wants to modify the character sheet and put that you've got a
can we
cohort
make them
on.
elite?
No, it's the 2 to get add a
Okay.
cohort. So that'll get us the Rooks, and then it would just take a 1 upgrade to make them elite.
Right.
Okay.
So
So we could do that, and do one of the trainings or add a vault or something next time.
Chris, is that your ghost cat?
That's my
Yeah,
actual.
it's not
That's my actual cat.
Oh, okay.
So a gang has scale and quality equal to your current crew tier.
Do they level up with us?
They do. When your tier goes up, they go up.
Yeah. Okay. Oops. That's fine.
Eventually, I would like some thugs. Eventually.
Sure.
And then when you make them elite, they will roll an extra die whenever they do the elite type of things. So if you
Of
bought
course,
them
we
as
could make the elite rooks thugs as well and give them an additional type.
yeah, you can,
Yeah, that's
you can do
just
that.
that's just pricey,
Right.
but we could.
So yeah, once you get elite, they will be rolling 1 extra die whenever they do rook things.
It's not, yeah. And the only sad thing about that is then we can't have them do separate things if we just bought thugs.
Correct. You're putting
The nice thing about
Yeah.
the nice thing about thugs is we have fine weapons.
Mhm. That actually does affect them. Yep. So, all right. One more thing. When you create a cohort, you have to give them 1 or 2 edges and an equal number of flaws.
Okay.
So here are your options for edges. Fearsome. They are terrifying in aspect and reputation. They're independent, which means they can be trusted to make good decisions and act on their own initiative in the absence of direct orders. Loyal. They can't be bribed or turned against you. Or tenacious. They won't be deterred from a task.
What are the flaws?
The flaws are principled. The cohort has an ethic or values that it won't betray. Savage. They're excessively violent and cruel. Unreliable. They're not always available, either due to obligations or stupefaction from their vices, which would make sense considering
That
what
seems
you guys are
appropriate.
doing there.
Yeah.
Or wild. They're drunken, debauched, and loudmouthed.
Those last 2 both sound pretty good.
So what 2 would we like? Loyal and independent?
I'd say so, yes.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense too.
What does independent do?
They can be trusted to make good decisions and act on their own initiative.
Okay.
So they're loyal and independent, but they're wild and
Unreliable.
unreliable.
They're off doing.
So no, listen. When they make good decisions,
No, when they're actually doing something, they make good decisions.
We are making these the socialites, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
All right. So edges. What do we see? Loyal and independent.
Why isn't it allowing a change from thugs?
I don't know. I've tried several times.
Yeah, me too.
I just named them rooks finally.
Finish typing your stuff and then I'll try it.
Laws was
wild and unreliable.
Unreliable and wild.
okay. Okay.
When they're not drunk or they're not high and stoned out, they're actually pretty independent.
But they're always loyal.
Can I have the first cohort stab us in the back?
Oh, how'd you do that?
What?
Something just popped up. That popped up. Got it.
That thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it's under there. Because I can't change it either.
How about...
No, that just gives you the drop down for elite or expert. I tried that.
Oh, there's
too.
also this other side.
How do you get them to be expert?
So, okay.
Oh, I guess we could just put it here.
How would you get it? What does expert mean?
Okay, so
curious.
when you hire a cohort, you either get a gang or an expert.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's just choosing which type of cohort it is. Experts are better at something than a gang, but of course there's only one of them. So, okay. I think that's it. You bought your ability and you bought a cohort. So, and these are going to be your, I guess they're the Libertines.
Yeah.
I like that.
Sure.
Got it.
I was already getting it.
Okay.
Sorry.
I will be done.
I don't know if anything actually happened.
It did.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. So, all right. Good criming, I guess.
Huzzah!
We didn't get beat up and stabbed and shot.
That's
so
that's two
what was
missions.
the
That's
bonus?
2 missions in a row, I think, where we pulled it
Last
off
mission-
relatively.
Last mission, I went screaming and running down a dock.
But it was great.
You're-
It actually worked
you're-
out perfect.
You're welcome, Six Towers.
That's right. You're welcome. All right. Well, bye.
Bye.
Bye.